What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Is your boy right here, MMA Reloaded. We're coming live and direct. Never pre-recorded, never pre-taped, never scripted, never unfiltered. The whole deal, the whole nine, the whole shebang, however you want to put it. We come live and my face is on your screens not every day, but like every week, 2 weeks, however you want it. Check this out, folks. It is another edition of 2 Cents. And today I just want to talk. If you're joining us for the first time, this is MMA Reloaded, where I get down with the nitty gritty, the hottest topics in mixed martial arts and combat sports, but in martial arts in general. Yeah, folks, we're coming off one of the best fights I've ever seen. It goes right down there with the greatest. When you put together two hungry, young guys in their prime, yeah, one-on-one, for the first time, yeah, top 10 lightweights, you're gonna get a banger. And that's exactly what we saw. It was, you know, when people say, oh, his boxing is, this guy's boxing is great and that guy's throwing hands, and there's a difference between throwing hands and boxing. And that night, right, both Dan Hooker and Dustin Poirier redefined what it meant to box in the MMA. Yeah? I know the gloves are smaller and there's fingers, there are holes in them and shit. And boxing, you know, you got the padded gloves in there. Yeah, you cock your fist and you put together them combinations. The reach is different, but folks, I just want to touch on that because all throughout that fight, the main aspect of it was their hands, their boxing technique. Dan Hooker threw great technique with his hands when he was pressuring Dustin Poirier near the fence, yeah, and sort of put his right over his left and put his left over his right. Sorry, and when he threw his combinations, he was accurate at all times. And there was no wild shit. Not at all in that fight. There was no wild shots. And that's what I call a mixed martial arts fight. You're not throwing wild. You're thinking every time when you're in that cage. Especially when the adrenaline is pumping through. Yeah? And you just want to go in there and fuck that guy up. That's not the fucking way it works, bro. Yeah? When you're pumped here, and you're pumped here, and you just want to go in and go do business, you got to make sure, yeah, do you never let your technique loose. That's just the way it goes. The only thing now, folks, that people want to ask, what is next? Now, I just posted this up on Instagram yesterday, and the thing is, the way I see it, with Dustin Poirier coming in at number 3. And, of course, coming off that loss to Khabib in Dubai and for the belt. Dan Hooker coming in at number 5 on a roll. Of course, his last loss being against Edson Barboza. You have to sort of think, where does Dustin Poirier go from here? Do you just give him another shot at the winner of Khabib and Gaethje? Or do you put one of the biggest barriers at 155 opposite Diamond? And that barrier, in my opinion, is Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson, folks, in my opinion, is owed 1 billion title shots when it's been promised to him, but never ever granted. He's owed them title shots, yeah? And I think against Gaethje, you come in, you can train as much as you want, man. But when you get in the cage, it's a lot different. And you, as unpredictable as Justin Gaethje is, you can never prepare for that shit. But they went to war. Gaethje and Ferguson went in a bloody massacre of a war. I think Dustin Poirier meets Tony Ferguson to sort of cement the contender for the to cement the contender for Gaethje or Khabib, whoever wins that fight in September. For Dan Hooker, man, yeah. Okay, the way I see it, Paul Felder's below him, right? Yeah, one spot below. Above Dan, yeah, at number 4 is oh fuck, kind of lost my train there. So number 1 you got Khabib, right, as the champion. Number 1 you have, and then the interim is Justin Gaethje, and number 2 is Tony Ferguson. You got Dustin Poirier number 3. I think Conor McGregor's there somewhere, but I don't see Conor McGregor fighting at all anymore. Fuck that shit. Fuck that guy. But yeah, I know Paul Felder's below Dan Hooker, but I wouldn't give Paul Felder. I would love to see Paul Felder versus Dan Hooker rematch. I honestly would. Yeah, because I think Dan Hooker is on another level now. Yeah, but as much of a massacre and a war that fight was, I think both guys have a lot of unfinished business. I think also Charles Oliveira versus Dan Hooker would be a great fight. I think Charles Oliveira right now is in the best shape of his career. He's in the best mindset, the mind frame that he's showing. Always great to see Charles Oliveira. Folks, if you want to see technique and brilliance, yeah, come to life, you look at Charles Oliveira. That's like putting not Brian, I'll tell you. Charles Oliveira incorporates technique, flash. You know, he makes grappling exciting. And, oh man, and you want to look, and it makes you look at jiu-jitsu in a whole different way. I think, folks, where we go from here, yes, I'll say Dan Hooker takes on Charles Oliveira. And then I think Dustin Poirier takes on Tony Ferguson. That's the way I look at it, folks. Yeah, that's your elite shit. Right there. You got a murderer's row at 155, bro. And this is where you take that to the next level. Yeah, there are no easy rides. There are no free rides in mixed martial arts. It's the most competitive sport, yeah, alive today, man. Mull over that. Yeah, and this will be posted on Instagram and on Facebook, folks. Check it out, yeah, and just tell me what you think. Don't be afraid to comment, man. That's what this is. Don't be afraid to comment, because this is 2 cents. Yeah, where I get down with the nitty gritty. Yeah, and I tell it the way it is, the way everybody else is scared to tell it. You know what I mean? This ain't Fox, this ain't SportsCenter, this ain't ESPN. Yeah, this Mma Reloaded. Believe that.